Hey there, creepy peeps. Welcome to my channel. If you are new here, man, if you're new here, you picked a great video to be new here with. Welcome back if you're returning. Today is my 1000th video. So I'm pretty sure this is my 1000th video. To be honest with you, YouTube, it took away all the places I remember you could look and see how many videos you've uploaded, I can no longer find. So I don't know if somebody wants to corroborate my story here and confirm this is actually my 1000th video. I'm relying on Social Blade because it posts literally right there, in that main bar of information, how many videos you've posted, but I don't know if Social Blade counts Patreon videos or not. Either way though, 1000 videos is still a lot. So if it doesn't count Patreon videos, I'm well over 1000 at this point. But anything, if I'm wrong, I've gone over 1000 at this point. So if you're one of those people that have been around this channel for a while and watched all of my 1000 videos, if not most of them, thank you. Trying to think, people have been here for a while. I know Zachary Haith has been here for forever, Boyd Crowder, Scuba Steve, I think Low Carb Monster, you've been here for a while. A lot of my patrons have been around for a while. Ben Grimm, Raiders, Azul, B, Melissa, Macabrella, so many of you guys have been around for a very long time, for which I thank you, because 1000 videos is a lot to sit through, especially when they're my videos. So I asked you guys a while ago now, I think it was right before 31 Days of Horror started. I kind of put it out into the internet, give me some ideas on what to do for my 1000th video. And you guys came up with tons, tons of ideas. A lot of you guys I do want to address really quick. So many of you guys said live stream, to do a live stream, which is really nice. I really get nervous when I do a live stream by myself, because it's I don't know, it's a lot of pressure to entertain when it's just you, and it's I feel it's so much easier when it's does this offend you or something, and I have Emma to shoulder some of that burden. So it really means a lot to me that you guys really wanted a live stream of just me. So I'm not gonna do a live stream. Obviously, as you're watching this right now, you know this is not a live stream, but for those of you that really wanted it, I do want to kind of get over that fear of doing a live stream by myself. So I'm gonna start doing a live stream once a month in 2020. Those of you that really wanted a live stream, just sit tight for another month and a half and you'll have more Nightmare Maven solo live streams than you can shake a stick at. Don't really know what that phrase means, to be honest. As for the other ideas you guys gave me, there were so many good ones, and I feel there was just way too much pressure to pick one idea for my 1000th video. So instead of just doing one idea, I thought I could do a bunch of your ideas. So that's what this video is gonna be. I'm just gonna do a bunch of y'all's ideas. So I should probably get started because I don't know how long this is gonna be. I guess we're gonna find out. Dylan Dachshund, I hope I'm saying your username right, suggested doing a top 10 favorite horror movies and a movie collection video. So I'm gonna go through my top 10 favorite horror movies of all time. I don't know if I've done this. If I can find it, I've done 1000 videos, guys, so forgive me if I can't remember. I can use that excuse now. This is great. So if I do find it, I'll link it up here somewhere. Let's go in order. We'll go from the 10 to 1. I'm not good at math. Just gonna go through these super quickly. Most of them you guys have probably heard me talk about at length because they are my favorites, so I'm not gonna go on and on about each one. So yeah, at number 10, I have What We Do in the Shadows, which is a New Zealand horror comedy, like mockumentary style about these 3 vampires just living it up in New Zealand. Hilarity ensues. If you haven't seen this movie, do yourself a favor and just watch it. It's so funny. Every time I watch it, I crack up laughing. Like, it hasn't gotten any less funny the more I've watched it. Number 9 on my list is Paranormal Activity, the first one from, oh gosh, when did that movie come out? 2007? Movie scared the shit out of me when I first saw it. Just really scary, like a good example of found footage done right, at least in my opinion. For the most part, you do get to a point at the end of the movie where you're kind of like wondering why they're still filming, but that happens with pretty much every single found footage horror movie ever. So, you know, this one is just like story-wise, and the fact that they just kept it really simple works perfectly for me. It's super scary. Number 8 on my list is The Strangers. Can't remember what, no, I can't remember what year this came out either. Love The Strangers. Again, just like a really scary and yet really simple movie. I know I've told the story like 1,000 times, but my first time ever watching this movie was when I had the house to myself for like the weekend. My parents and my brother were away at like some baseball thing. My grandparents were away, and I stayed to like watch our dogs and watch my grandparents' dogs, and I thought it would be a good idea to watch The Strangers because I was dumb teenager, you know, lots of bravado, thinking, oh, this isn't gonna be scary. Boy, was I wrong. Scared the shit out of me, turned on all the lights in the house and watched Nickelodeon until I fell asleep with all the lights on because it was that fucking scary. So that just stuck with me, and I mean, even when I watch it now, it's still a frightening movie, and home invasion is always scary, obviously. It's very real. It's just something that feels like it could happen to anybody, and The Strangers does that so well with that iconic line in the movie when they're asking why they chose them, and their answer was, because you were home. Number 7 on my list is The Blair Witch Project. Again, just a fantastic example of found footage done right. One of the earlier examples, not the first ever found footage horror movie or found footage movie in general, but definitely the one I think that's credited, I think pretty fairly, with the found footage boom that came after it, because it was just iconic. And again, just kept simple, which for me is like, it works better with found footage if you just keep it simple. I know so many people don't like that you don't see the witch. Spoiler alert, I guess, if you've never seen this movie. You don't see the witch, but I love that about the movie because the image that I have in my brain of what the Blair Witch looks like is way scarier than anything they could create. Plus the whole idea of like not knowing is terrifying, even if you don't have an image of like what you think the Blair Witch looks like in your head. Like, the idea of not knowing makes it frightening. I realize with this list I'm kind of proving Possessed by Horror right. I think the aughts were like the best year for horror, question mark. I would say like the 90s and the aughts are like my favorite decades for horror. Number 6, are we on number 6? On my list is The Craft. Of course, best witch movie ever. Don't at me. I mean, that's fine if you disagree, but that's my favorite witch movie ever. Iconic. Do I need to explain why I like it? No, probably not. Number 5 on my list is The Devil's Rejects. We all know that I'm a Rob Zombie fan here on this channel. If you didn't know and you're kind of new, I'm a Rob Zombie fan, so I know he's kind of a polarizing director, but I think most people agree, even if, at least from what I've seen, like in the horror community, I feel like even people that don't necessarily like Rob Zombie's movies as a whole, I think everyone mostly agrees that The Devil's Rejects is a good film. Like, obviously there are people in the world that don't like it, but number 4 on my list is The Evil Dead, the original one. Even though the remake of this movie is quite fantastic. Like, it's one of the better horror remakes in my opinion. The original is iconic though. I love The Evil Dead. I love Bruce Campbell. I love everything about the movie. Again, this is one I've talked about, I feel like, multiple times on my channel. So it's a fantastic film. I don't need to tell you guys. You guys know. Number 3 on my list is another Rob Zombie movie, House of a Thousand Corpses. I feel like for a lot of people it's kind of opposite. Most people like The Devil's Rejects over House of a Thousand Corpses. I just love the first. They're so different, the two movies, which is kind of what I love about them also. It's like meant to be a continuous story, but I would say, I say style-wise, they just couldn't be more different, even though they're both from Rob Zombie, who has a very distinct style when it comes to filmmaking, well, just in general. But I don't know, I love it. I love House of a Thousand Corpses. I love how it kind of goes from being like your run-of-the-mill kind of slasher movie, and like as the movie goes on, it just gets more and more bonkers. And I love it. And I love showing people this movie, especially non-horror fans, because I feel like they're usually into it like through like the first half of the movie, and then once it starts to get kind of batshit crazy, I like to see their reaction. Is that mean of me? Probably. Second on my list, not a surprise to anybody, is Trick or Treat. I love the movie. It's a great, not only just a great anthology movie, or not just a great Halloween horror movie, I feel like it's just a really well put together movie. I love that all the stories are intertwined and taking place like on the same night in the same town. Again, I don't have to tell you guys. You guys know I'm a hoe for Michael Dougherty. This is the movie that started that. I will watch anything that man puts out because of Trick or Treat. So, and then first on my list, do I have to tell you guys? I think you guys are probably all screaming it at the screen right now. It's Scream. My favorite shelf back here, I have all 4 of the Screams together, like in the #1 spot. Obviously, it's the first one that's like my true #1. Honestly, I don't know where I would put, I kind of just like by default put like the whole franchise in the first spot there. I don't know if I did like a true ranking where 2, 3, and 4 would end up, but just for convenience sake, I can just keep them all together because it's a great franchise, in my opinion. It's just, you know. Immediately following this is going to be a tour of my movie collection back here, so you'll be able to see the rest of my favorite shelf, which is why I kind of did do an honorable mention. You'll see the rest of the honorable mentions here in a second, so let's do that. These are all of my horror movies. I do have a tiny collection of non-horror movies in my room, but I don't think you guys are really too interested in that. It's very random and small, so we're gonna stick with the horror movies here. And this is kind of perfect because I recently just reorganized all of my horror movies. All of my patrons have seen that video already. So now I'm gonna explain to you guys what I did, how I reorganized them, and you'll get to take a look at all the movies that are sitting behind me. Okay, so I have my movies now organized by subcategory, and then they're alphabetized, like the subcategories are alphabetized, as you'll see, and then obviously within each one they're alphabetized by title. You'll get it. So I want to make like little kind of like section dividers for each one eventually. I just haven't gone around to it, but I'll just explain them to you, and you'll probably recognize the subcategories as I go. So this first section right here is animal horror movies. I have it separated from creature features, which you'll see in a second. So the animal ones are all like real animals, even if they've been kind of like genetically modified, like radiation, whatever, kind of like them, and like stung and things like that, where it's like huge versions of an animal, but they're all based on real animals. So, I mean, it's mostly taken up by Jaws. I don't have too many of these. Like, it's not, besides Jaws, I think I've mentioned this before, besides Jaws, that's really kind of like it for me. I don't hate animal horror movies. They're just like, I don't know. I'm never really into them that much. This little section right here is anthologies. You'll notice like there are some movies that could easily be put into multiple subcategories. I just did it based on my own, like, so when I looked at the movie, the very first thing I thought of it as, like anthology, horror, comedy, whatever, that's where I put it because it's ultimately my collection and I got to be able to find these easier. So it'll be easier for me to find them if they're organized by how I think of them. Does that make sense? And then this little section here, you probably noticed, is Asian horror. I went ahead and put the American remakes with the original if I had them, just because even if I'm thinking of watching like an American remake of something, I still think of it as like an Asian horror remake. That's how I think of it in my brain. Whether that's correct or not, doesn't matter because it's my collection. Then I have a random 2 DVD section right here for cannibalism. Don't have too many of those. Next are obviously Christmas movies. So here's kind of like a first example, like a Christmas horror story is technically an anthology also, but I always just think of it as a Christmas horror movie first. So that's why it's here. Then next, from, let's see, here to here is horror comedies. So a lot of, I guess, like, a lot of them are like kind of like quote unquote not horror movies, probably like Ghostbusters. I don't know if Young Frankenstein is considered a horror movie at all either, even though it's based on Frankenstein, but they're here. So then these 3 plus this stack right here on the second shelf are all my creature features. So I kind of put some body horror in here because like Tusk is kind of, for the most part, like, you know, like, I don't know. Just, this is just my categorization, just, I know. And I know technically a walrus is a real animal, but I don't know. I just see it more as a creature feature because it's like a person being turned into one, you know. Then this little section right here, 3 movies, are creepy kids. Then we have this stack right here, which I consider like demon movies. I'm sure, I can't wait to hear the comments of this, like people telling me like what movies are. I'll repeat again, this is just how I think of them. So it's all about me being able to find the movies when I want to watch them. So, and I know I could just put them in ABC order, but I've had them that way for so long, I wanted to change. So, demon horror movies. Let me move my Craven extra salt and pepper shakers out of the way. This is good too. You can see kind of some of my little like doodads and stuff that I have here. If anybody's wondering before I move on, pretty much 100% of like the little doodads and stuff you see are all from subscription boxes. So, because I figure I'll probably get 1 or 2 questions about that. This little 4 DVD section right here is like infection, virus sort of thing, contagion. Disease is technically like the subcategory. I'm alphabetizing it as disease. And this small stack right here, I just put as extreme. So, I mean, there's like some body horror stuff like Martyrs and things and like a rape revenge and stuff. I feel like they all kind of fall under the category of extreme. Otherwise, they would either be in like different sections or like in random sections by themselves. Like I think Martyrs is the only French horror movie I own. So, and I Spit on Your Grave is like one of 2 rape revenge movies I own. So I just went ahead and decided to make them like a bigger section together and just put it under the name of extreme, which I think everyone can agree these movies are definitely extreme. You guys have probably seen this shelf a lot. I'm actually gonna, here, I'll move these out of the way so you can see them better. Here, these, what are these, like 5 of them, 5 DVDs are family friendly. I say, or just like family horror movies. So stuff that you could show to your kids and they may, or I don't know, The Witches is kind of scary and Frankenweenie is kind of sad. But they wouldn't be traumatized too badly. Then found footage, the rest of this area right here. And then behind Annabelle, right here are all haunted house or just haunting house or ghost. Either way, alphabetically that works. Put you back. Try and remember to put everything back as I go. Otherwise I'll forget. Okay, I'm just gonna move this out of the way really quick. So this little section I have back here, I decided since I had at least 5 I can put in here, I might as well make it a section. You're probably seeing it already. It's King, Stephen King. That one's pretty easy. I don't have too many on DVD from Stephen King, to be honest, but. And these 2 DVDs make up my musical section. Little Shop of Horrors and Rocky Horror Picture Show. Then this section right here, I decided to separate out just because I love him so much. Poe. Edgar Allan Poe. So again, here's another one. Like, this is technically an anthology, but I think of it as an Edgar Allan Poe first. That's how I like identify it as. Fantastic film, by the way, too. Extraordinary Tales. Then you can probably tell from this next little section here, this is all sci-fi, like sci-fi, space, aliens, that sort of thing. I just went ahead for, I don't know if, does The Invisible Man count as sci-fi? I don't really know. That's kind of like the first thing I thought of it as. I don't know if that's correct or not, but down here you can probably tell already what's going on. These are the slashers. The slashers is like the biggest section I have. It actually takes up all of this. So these 2 stacks right in between here are all my slasher movies. You can see them all. I keep talking about how I'm like falling out of love with slasher movies, and yet it's the biggest collection, or the biggest section in my collection. Let me move my ghost face mask out of the way really quick. Okay, so these 2 and this stack right here are thrillers. I just found it to be the easiest way to classify these, even though I know I've like spoken out about thrillers. That sounds so weird. Like, I've spoken out about thrillers before. How I don't really, I don't know. I'm learning to understand the designation a little bit more. I know before I've been like, I don't believe the thriller section exists. It's all just horror. But as it helped separating all my movies out, because yeah, I started to understand why, like, I started to understand the thriller designation. So I'm not fully on board yet, but I'm getting there. So progress, right? On to the bottom shelf here. So you could probably tell by the toys in front of it too. I tried to put the toys by like the matching sections if I could. Obviously this is the vampire stack of movies. I got a good number of vampire movies. I quite like a good vampire movie. So, you know, I got a lot. A lot of Draculas, that's for sure. Then this section, oh, you can't see my hands. These right here, this little section, half of this area are werewolves, obviously, as you can probably tell. And then you can probably imagine what comes next is witches. So, yeah. You probably can't see there. This is Practical Magic and Witches of Eastwick in here. Right. And then finally on this bookshelf, the very last bit here, as you can probably tell already, are zombie movies. So this is my favorite shelf. So I know I just talked about my top 10 favorites. So this is the only area of my shelf that's ranked. Everything else, I'll explain my kind of categorization, and then they're just alphabetical. But these are my top 10 favorites that I literally just talked about, so I'm not gonna spend too much time in here. The only one I'm gonna mention really quick is Beetlejuice is in here. I know it's not a horror movie, so that's why I didn't mention it in my top 10, but it's definitely one of my favorite movies just of all time. So I put Beetlejuice in my little ranked area here, but I just didn't talk about it because it's not a horror movie. So moving on, this section right here, so from Halloween Town to Twister over here are all nostalgic favorites. So these are all ones, as you can tell, definitely some like kid movies. Halloween Town, Hocus Pocus, Nightmare Before Christmas are all family friendly. Obviously I watched this as a kid, and other ones here that I grew up watching at like a youngish age. Maybe like some of these definitely a little bit too young probably to be watching it, like Sleepy Hollow and Queen of the Damned. So these are like nostalgic favorites. Maybe not all of these are the best movie. I know Stay Alive is not the best movie. Queen of the Damned technically probably isn't the best movie, neither is like House of Wax, but I love them, a lot of them. I saw like House of Wax. It might be one of the first horror movies I ever saw in a theater, potentially. I'm pretty sure I snuck into it, so I don't think it really signifies my age. I think I snuck into that one. So yeah, these are all the movies that like really influenced my love of horror, which I think Wandering Child suggested as a video, so that's I'm kind of doing that here too. And I put The Mummy in here. Don't at me, I know it's not horror, but whatever. I love that movie. I could probably just recite that entire movie for you guys right now. Okay, so next little section I have here, from Creepshow to Serial Mom, are kind of like, I say like oldies favorites, but these are like favorites that were largely before my time. There's like, I think 1 or 2 exceptions in here. And I say before my time, I mean like year of release wise. The majority of this little section, the movies came out before I was born, but they're still some of my favorites. So I think like, yeah, Dead Alive is an exception. That was like 92. It's exactly the year I was born. In the Mouth of Madness was 94. Can't remember when Serial Mom was definitely 90s. So those are all kind of like oldies favorites. I say just like oldies but goodies. So then this big chunk here, my hand can't even stretch all the way. So from Behind the Mask to 31, all the way down here are like modern favorites. So these are all like 2000s and on. So more modern favorites: Behind the Mask, Cabin in the Woods, Exorcism of Emily Rose, The Final Girls, the Grindhouse double features there. Can't really see the side of it. Rob Zombie's Halloween, House of the Devil, It, Krampus, Lords of Salem. It's growing on me, you guys, the more I watch it. The Love Witch, Tucker and Dale versus Evil, The Witch, You're Next, 31. So these are all modern horror favorites. And then finally on the end here, I just made like a little Asian horror section for my favorites. Battle Royale, perhaps my ultimate favorite, just Asian in general horror movie, not just Japanese horror movie. Just of all the Asian countries, Battle Royale is probably my favorite. I Saw the Devil, Train to Busan, and The Wailing. I really need to, I mean, I obviously have more Asian horror movies, as you saw, but yeah. Okay, let me put all my things back here, and then we'll go down to this last shelf. Okay, so last but certainly not least, this is a kind of, a little bit of a random shelf. Oh, hold on, I've got some more stuff I gotta move. Okay. Okay, so this is a bit of a random shelf here. So what I have here, this little area, are my horror documentaries. I realize they're not in alphabetical order. I kind of just put them on the shelf right there. And yeah, I don't rewatch these very often, so I mean, I just didn't feel the need to alphabetize them for whatever reason, but those are all my horror documentaries. Probably the one I've seen the most is Nightmares in Red, White, and Blue. Then I have my kind of collections. So like my box sets, my collections, I kind of have them organized here. So these 3 right here, just kick it off. They're very general horror collections. Like this one's just like 50 horror classics. Like just ones that it's not too distinct of a theme. The rest of these are all kind of themed, so, and they're just alphabetized by the theme. So Craven, I got a Wes Craven little DVD collection here. Creature from the Black Lagoon, Dracula movies. I have Elvira here. Then I have 2 Hammer horror film collections right here. Hitchcock, Alfred Hitchcock movies. It's Alive. This is Karloff, Boris Karloff. Oh, you can see what it is way better on the camera than I can in real life. This is kind of just, I just put Kubrick here because it's like these 3, they would all be in completely different sections if I shelved it by here. So I didn't really know where else to put this other than my collection. So this is Kubrick. Then I have 2 Vincent Price collections. And then as you can see, to end off my horror collection, I just have my TV show box set collection things. So obviously this one is Charmed. I know I've shown this before. It's a whole ass book. I'm not gonna pull it out. It's heavy and it's literally a giant ass book of shadows with the entire series of Charmed. I fucking love that show. I have an Ash vs. Evil Dead here, just hiding out here. Addams Family, the Munsters. So yeah, that is my whole entire collection. Wow, this was like a whole 20-minute thing. This 1000th video is gonna be long as fuck. Andrew Horror 23 didn't mean this to be a 1000th video idea, I don't think. I think they just meant it as a video idea in general. But what I eat in a day as a vegan video. All right, welcome to probably the world's fastest what I ate in a day as a vegan, requested by Andrew. So to start the day off, I had a piece of toast. My mom made this delicious like walnut sage bread. It is so good, seriously. So I just had a piece of that with some Kite Hill cream cheese on it. I absolutely adore this cream cheese. It's made with almonds, and seriously, I am fully convinced that if you gave somebody a blind taste test with that, they would have no idea it wasn't vegan. It's a little bit on the pricey side, so it's definitely a splurge, but it's so freaking good. And of course, I had a cup of coffee, and I usually either put almond milk in it or fancy schmancy vegan creamer if it's on sale, and this week it was on sale, so I got the Silk almond milk creamer. They make a really good pumpkin spice one during October, so if you ever see that in the store, definitely get it. It's delicious. Then lately, in lieu of a second cup of coffee, I've been opting for a cup of black tea just for a little more caffeine. So I had a cup of Earl Grey tea and I poured a little bit of almond milk in it. Need that extra caffeine in the morning, but doing 2 cups of coffee was giving me the jitters. So then for lunch, I had some leftovers. The other night I made a spicy Korean stew, which I got the recipe from Cheap Lazy Vegan, which I'll link that video. Seriously, I've made this stew so many times now. It is delicious and not too labor intensive. It's just potatoes. You can either do regular or sweet potatoes or a mixture, broccoli and carrots, onions, garlic. And then the sauce you cook it in is gochujang, tamari sauce or soy sauce, and sesame oil. And the recipe makes a lot, but it's kind of perfect because then you have leftovers for a couple of days, and it just gets better the longer it sits and soaks up that sauce. Usually I serve it with rice, but I couldn't be bothered to make any. I didn't have any leftover from the other night, so I just ate the stew, and then I had some radish kimchi on the side. And then I went to the movies to see The Lighthouse, and I had a bucket of popcorn and a cherry icy. And this was just a leftover kind of day today. So I also had some leftover pasta from the other night. It was just plain old pasta with some salt and pepper and olive oil on it and some green beans. So I reheated that and had that, and then I cooked a Beyond Meat sausage to go with it. Also a little bit pricey, the Beyond Meat stuff, but honestly it's so so good. Like, it's kind of scary how much it tastes like meat. And that's what I ate today. Maybe not the most exciting. Lots of leftovers. It just happened to film this on a day where I had a lot of leftovers. Hopefully that was entertaining. Spooky Astronauts Emma suggested I recreate my first video. This is gonna be so cringy. Okay, I'm in the right spot for where I filmed my first video against the same very green wall. Okay, so I'm gonna try and recreate my first video. I'm not gonna do the whole thing because I'm not trying to bore you all to tears. But I'll do like, I figure like the intro is probably enough cringe for you guys to laugh at, so.
Hi everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Vicky and this is my first ever video on YouTube.
Ah, I hate it.
I thought I would just introduce myself, introduce my channel, let you guys know what I'm all about. So a few things about myself. I am 22 years old. I live in the sunny state of Florida and I am currently a grad student at Full Sail University online. Importantly, I love horror. I love horror movies, I love horror television, I love horror books. Anything creepy and scary and weird, I absolutely love it. Probably going to be online.
Here we go. Let's see if I can do this. Oscar nomination, here I come.
Hi everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Vicky and this is my first ever video on YouTube. I thought I would just introduce myself, introduce my channel, let you guys know what I'm all about.
Oh.
A few things about myself. I am 22 years old. I live in the sunny state of Florida and I am currently a grad student at Full Sail University online. Importantly, I love horror. I love horror movies, I love horror television, I love horror books. Anything creepy and scary and weird, I absolutely love it.
I hate this. Maybe let me do the outro too. So I can't stomach doing the whole video.
So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and end this awkward introduction video here. Let me know in the comment section down below what you think of this channel idea. Are you excited for it? Do you think it's crap and you're never coming back here again? Look forward to a new video soon and I will catch you guys later. Bye!
I hope you're happy, Emma. There you go. Partially recreated my first video. I never want to watch this again, ever. Stephen Lafferty also, I don't think suggested this as a 1000th video idea. I think it was just a general suggestion, but I really want to do it. So I'm going to do a DIY cherry icy video. To make your own cherry icy, I got this recipe from Kleinworth & Co. I'll link it in the description, although I looked at a couple of different recipes and they all seemed about the same. They all had like the same ingredients. First thing you need is a cup of cold club soda. Pour that into your blender. Then you'll need a 1/4 cup of granulated sugar. Also pour that into your blender. The most easy instructions, just dump everything into the blender. The recipe said a 1/4 teaspoon of cherry Kool-Aid drink mix, but I wanted it to be like ultra cherry tasting, so I just went for a full teaspoon. And then the recipe also called for 1/2 teaspoon of maraschino cherry juice. Also, again, I just kind of wanted it to be like ultra cherry tasting, so I went for a full teaspoon. And then it says 2 cups of crushed ice, and our ice maker is just not fancy enough and does not do the crushed ice. So I kind of just grabbed a whole bunch of ice cubes and just, you know, went for it. Then blend. I gave it a little taste test and it was good, but it definitely tasted like, you know, like a healthy cherry icy, like not, even though there's a lot of sugar in it, Wasn't as sweet as I wanted it to be. It wasn't as sweet as it is at the movies. So I kind of just yeeted some more Kool-Aid powder and maraschino cherry juice in there, which kind of sucks because after I did that and blended it up again some more, it tasted really good, and I don't actually know how much Kool-Aid mix and how much maraschino cherry juice I poured in there. So if I had to guess, I would say maybe I got pretty close to 2 tablespoons of cherry Kool-Aid mix and probably like 2 teaspoons of maraschino cherry juice if I was guessing. I'll link the recipe below. I didn't follow it, but you know. The Graveyard of Go-Go and Ben Grimm both mentioned spiders. I had an idea with my patrons to like go to like some like exotic pet store if I could and just like hold a spider and see if I could like go in and just hold one and film it. But at least like the one promising place I found doesn't really let you do that. And Melissa mentioned like 1,000 spiders, which I'm not gonna buy 1,000 spiders, real or fake. So here's this. So in my October recap and mini haul, I mentioned that I bought something that I didn't want to show you guys right away because I had intended it for another video. This is that other video. So like I probably just said, I didn't want to get 1,000 spiders, real or fake, because what the frick am I gonna do with them afterward? So as I was in the checkout line at Spirit Halloween, I bought these. They're 2 brown spider clips. They're just like hair clips and they're like brown fuzzy spiders. I thought maybe that would be better and more traumatizing because they look like the type of spiders I'm most afraid of, which are the big fat hairy ones. And I don't even like them having them this close to my face. You'll notice I'm not touching them either. I'm touching I completely bought these. I took them off of the shelf and I purchased them and I put them away, and I have yet to actually touch the fake spiders. I don't even like to touch fake spiders, y'all. I don't know if you guys understand how deep this fear of spiders is. Okay. Alrighty, so yeah, I have 2 of them, so I'm thinking like pigtails. I was thinking maybe of doing like space buns and putting them on, but I don't have that much hair and I feel like the spiders will kind of cover the space buns, so it's like what's the point, you know? So I'm thinking pigtails, and I can like clip them like right at the base of the pigtails. I just can't decide if I want to do high. I feel like my inclination is to do high pigtails because then I don't have to have these so close to my face. But if I do low pigtails, they have to be like right by my ears, and I feel like that's more traumatizing. So I think I'm gonna go for that. I think I'm gonna leave my part the way it is. Not that you guys care, you just want to see me put the spiders on my hair. Why am I trying to make this a tutorial? I didn't want to do anything too crazy either because I'm going to the movies later, so I don't want to like completely like tease and destroy my hair. So I'm just gonna make it simple. It's all about the trauma, less about it being like a cute and stylish thing. What the fuck is happening here? Okay. Less about it being cute and stylish, more about me traumatizing myself with fake spiders. Who the fuck cares if they're even? Okay. I'm gonna avoid actually touching them for as long as I can. No, I hate this. I don't want to touch them. Get off. Oh, wait, hold on. Hair brush. Woohoo! Life hacks. I don't want to do this. This is the dumbest thing. Like, everybody watching is just... I hate it. Okay. I wish I was kidding. I wish I was acting so bad. Okay, I feel like if I just... You guys can't even see the, like, okay. I hate it. Oh God. Just touching it by the hair. I hate this. Okay. 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 Should I do it like a band-aid? Oh, they're like shedding too, like little tiny hairs. Pull yourself together, woman. Just put them in your hair. It's fine. Just... It's okay. It's okay. They're fake. They're fake. They're fake. They're fake. They're fake. I hate it. 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 Oh, I just don't, why does the base of the clip have to be at like the rounded part? I just don't want to touch that. Like the leg, fine. Fine. This is fine. I don't like touching this. Just don't think about it. Just don't think about it. Just don't think about it. My hand is shaking. This is the worst. I'm gonna just cut my hair off. I don't want to, like, I don't want to touch it to get it out. I'm just gonna have to cut my, it's in backwards. It's in fucking backwards. Fuck! Okay. When I marked that my channel is not kid friendly, I was 100% correct. I've dropped so many F-bombs. Oh my fucking God, I hate this. Okay. Okay, I've done one. Vicky, you've done one already. It's in your hair. It's right by your face. Don't think about that. Just get the other and put it in your hair. Okay. I can already tell my door is shut, but I know my dog is freaking out because I'm making so much racket. Okay. I can feel the other one like right by my head. Just do it. Just do it. I'm not left-handed, so this one is kind of more difficult. Okay, good enough. Okay, let's get this photo shoot over with because I'm over this. Should I go outside? The lighting's probably better. Yeah, let's go outside. Okay, hold on. Poor thing. She's like, what the fuck is wrong with you? I opened the door and she was right there. Okay, you wanna go outside? You go outside? Okay, come on, let's go. Oh God. Now for the... You gotta get them out of your hair, Vicky. You can't stay here. I don't remember which way the clips are. Oh no, it's at the base. The worst part. Okay. I wonder if I can just get to the clip. No, no, I can't. No, 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 no. How? It touched me. Can I just rip it out of my hair? Fuck that one. Okay. Daisy, help me. Are you gonna stay here for moral support? No? She's abandoning me. Okay. Just one gone, one to go. Okay. Thank you, Daisy, for coming back. I did it. I did it. That was... You guys don't understand how traumatizing that was. Thank you, Daisy. You wanna help me outro it? Thank you. Okay, so that was me. That was me doing a whole bunch of video ideas for my 1000th video. Thank you guys so much again. I love you too. I love you. Thank you guys so much again for watching all of my videos and me being ridiculous and freaking out over putting fake spiders in my hair and making ices and some stuff. Daisy, you're making this more difficult. I know. Okay, so I'm gonna go now because Daisy, I shouldn't have sat on the floor next to you. You're trying to steal my spotlight, aren't you? Okay, I'm gonna go. Thank you guys for watching. Subscribe if you're new here and become a creepy peep today. We're shooting for 2,000, you guys. We're not stopping here. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, stay strange. Bye. Say bye, Daisy. Say bye. Say bye. This video is brought to you by all these lovely creepy patron peeps that you see listed here. If you want to find out the perks to being a creepy patron peep yourself, you can check out that link in the description. There's a whole bunch of fun links in the description, so you can follow me on all my social media, Goodreads, Letterboxd, all that good stuff. So make sure you check out the description box. Thanks for watching. I love you. Bye.